Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't follow me, you may not know, but this weekend I was away. I was in Nashville. You know what? This doesn't quite feel right because of that. There we go. That feels a little bit better. Now, as far as this weekend went, we got a lot of information in regards to Warzone 2, Modern Warfare 2, DMZ, raids, and everything like that. Essentially, everything got leaked in regards to Modern Warfare 2. So, one, now that we're wearing a cowboy hat, and two, that we got all this information over the weekend, I feel like I need to keep you guys updated, keep you in the loop, go over all of these leaks in one big video as fast as possible. So if you want to stay in the loop about Modern Warfare 2, make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on, hit that like button. Without further ado, we have a lot to look at, so let's jump into it. So the leak started out shortly after the beta, with people data mining it. Generally speaking, after a beta, we get a ton of information as to what is going to come upon the full launch of the game. However, this time that didn't really happen. We got some additional weapons, and one of the main things was weapon camos. Now, the quote-unquote weapon camos were leaked in game, and you could see images of them. You could kind of break into a menu and see them. However, what a lot of people didn't notice when they were looking at this is all of these were placeholders. They were all of the camos from Modern Warfare 2019, and they're not going to do that. They're not just going to put in the old camos like we saw in 2019. There'll be new camos there. However, one thing that was leaked is the challenges needed to unlock these camos. Now, the camos for the ARs, for example, are as follows: 800 kills, 160 stance change kills, so switching to crouch, 75 hipfire kills, 100 long shots, 100 mounted kills, 180 kills with full attachments, 50 kills shortly after reloading, 110 kills with no attachments, and 35 3-kill streaks. In other words, getting 3 kills without dying. Now, again, if you're familiar with Modern Warfare 2019, these are very, very similar to the challenges in Modern Warfare 2019, which lends to the question, are these placeholders? Are they going to be changing? Keep in mind, some of the numbers are different, but a lot of the challenges are exactly the same, including all of the different weapons, including SMGs, sniper rifles, things along those lines. The fact that some of them are changed and numbers are changed makes me kind of think that these actually might be the challenges. However, the camos themselves, from if you saw any of the leaks, these are not what to expect from this whatsoever. So we can take this with a grain of salt. However, we know there's going to be camos. We know there's going to be a grind for that. We just don't know at this point what the camos are going to be, what the mastery camos are going to look like. But I have a feeling these challenges are a pretty good place to start, and I think we'll see something very similar, if not these challenges in and of themselves. Now, another thing that got leaked shortly after the beta was the combat record. Now, normally I wouldn't even make a video or talk about this in a video or bat my eyes at it whatsoever. However, there's a couple really interesting things with this combat record. The first of which is in the main screen. It showed a couple of different menus, including multiplayer, co-op, which we're not sure whether that's DMZ or whether that's Spec Ops or what that is, followed up by ranked play. Now, it has been a very long time since ranked play was released at the launch of a Call of Duty game. Now, this does not confirm that that will happen. However, it confirms that there is coding in game for ranked play, which means it will be coming, if not at launch, probably shortly after, which is good to see. Keep in mind, this has not been confirmed whatsoever by Infinity Ward or Activision. This is, again, leaks, so take it with a grain of salt. The other thing that we saw by these is that they are super in-depth, going into details as per weapon stats, equipment use, field upgrades, so on and so forth, which is really great to see, and I love to see that. It's been like since Black Ops, since we've got it this in-depth of a combat record, so I can't wait to see what we are going to see moving forward with that. So the last three things that we have to talk about are Warzone 2 changes, DMZ, a lot of stuff with DMZ, and then raids. Raids is the most interesting one to me, and I can't wait to fill you guys in on that because it has to do with the story of Call of Duty. But as far as Warzone 2 goes, the changes that are apparently coming at launch, these things were leaked, and there are a lot of things people were complaining about, so they kind of line up. The first is that there is going to be less AI across Warzone 2 and mainly only in strongholds, which I think a lot of people were saying is a good thing and what they were asking for. So it'll be interesting to see how that works once it comes out. Apparently, loadouts and perks are coming back in the way that we saw them previously in Warzone 1. We don't know in what capacity. That could change day to day in testing. So take that one with a grain of salt. We'll have to wait to see until launch what they actually do with that. And finally, the looting UI is being changed. So the looting UI was something a lot of people complained about. They said it was too slow. You had to open up your inventory, so on and so forth. That is going to be tweaked and adjusted. They basically already stated that. We don't know to what capacity, whether it's going to be the old system where everything drops on the ground or just a faster system of something that we already saw within Warzone 2. Now, DMZ. DMZ is the Escape from Tarkov style mode that is going to be coming with the launch of Warzone 2. We haven't seen gameplay of this or really anything in detail as to what this mode is actually going to be, how it's going to work, or anything like that. We just keep getting leaks, and the first one that we got about a month ago was to do with missions that were in game, killing AI, killing other players, completing strongholds, things along those lines. I'll have that video linked at the end of the video if you want a more in-depth breakdown of those challenges. But as far as this goes, it kind of gave us the gameplay loop. You go in, you loot, you extract, very similar to Escape from Tarkov. But with recent leaks, we got a little bit more information. The first of which has to do with factions, two of which were listed: the Black Mao, which was a faction focused on exploration through the DMZ, and the White Lotus, which is focused on completing activities and eliminating AI. We don't know how this will work if you're going to play as a faction within game. We've heard that there's going to be upwards of 100 AI on a map, so is it going to be just fighting AI or other players, or how is that going to work? At this point, we don't know. They also listed a list of locations, which there were a ton of them. Now, in all of these locations, I'm not going to go through all of them because it would take me a while, there's descriptions for loot and keys. So essentially you can pick up keys, it'll unlock a door in a specific area in the DMZ, and then you can get loot from that area. I think this is a really cool thing. It's very in-depth, but that's not where the depth actually ends. It goes on to explain something that are called marketplace items. Now, we don't know what the marketplace is or how it'll work. From the sounds of it, you will go in and be able to loot various different items and then sell them for some sort of in-game currency, and then probably buy weapons and other things from that. Some of them that are listed out included aspirin, broken glass, pictures of cats, vials of insulin, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, we don't know how the marketplace will work or anything like that, but it'll somehow be implemented into the overall loop of DMZ, and I'm very interested in that, especially with the amount of depth. Like pictures of cats, like at that point you can pretty much loot whatever you want and make some money or currency or however it works off of that. I can't wait to see. Now, after this, there was a mention of a nuke, basically some audio files which include someone saying, "Someone armed a nuke, get to the helo before it blows," and then a 10 and 5 minute countdown. So assumably, I don't know if that's how a DMZ match is going to end. You got to extract before the nuke goes off, or whether that's something you can do or complete in game to launch a nuke. At this point, we don't know, but again, just a ton of depth here. Speaking of depth, the last thing that we have to talk about is what I think the coolest thing we are going to talk about all day, and that is raids. Essentially, what these are something that is going to be coming out after the launch of Season 1. Now, we don't know at what point, whether it's going to be Season 1 Reloaded, Season 2, or anything like that, but what we know of these is that they are episodic missions with multiple hours of gameplay length, which is crazy. The narrative is continued after the campaign, so this is how we're going to get narrative once the game is actually out. There are 3 players per team with various mixed combat, narrative, and puzzles as well, which I personally love. Can't wait to see that. And they will be released seasonally, so every single season we will get a new raid. This sounds incredible to me. This is something I have wanted for Call of Duty for a long time. It was what I was hoping Spec Ops would be way back in the day. Now, what we don't know is when this will come out exactly and how, whether it'll be a part of Modern Warfare 2, whether it'll be a part of Warzone 2 with more players and DMZ and things like that. We don't know what that is going to look like. We know there's going to be AI in it. You know, you have teams of 3. We know there's going to be puzzles. It's going to be narrative driven. I am immensely looking forward to this, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is the thing I am looking forward to most in a Call of Duty game in years and years. This sounds straight up my alley. You guys know I love story. You know I love narrative. You know I love puzzles. Everything like this is just catering to what I love, and on top of that, it's in Call of Duty. So that is what I'm the most excited about. We are going to continue to get different leaks over the next coming weeks. I will continue to keep you guys updated, so make sure you're staying tuned to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, have notifications on. I will be keeping you guys updated. Don't have any more vacations planned for the rest of the year, so we got tons of content coming. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making